Ayo, adofo, and then so yeah, my akwaba Ediba Obra TV. So now time to feel good. So now wasu egui. Na and then yeah, babe toa yeah edumedie no so in the past few weeks, we've been talking about prosperity, gaining wealth, and building wealth, and all of that. Yeah, talk about real estate for 2 weeks, and Sisi, and we're going to venture into another form of wealth creation. If you look around the world, the millionaires and the billionaires, the richest people, you find a common theme about how they amassed their wealth or created their wealth. One, maybe me pen personally, one of them, any man, I could create Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. He is one of my favorite, rich men, and because of his lifestyle and other things. But if you look at the way his wealth was created, it was mainly through the stock exchange, understanding the business, knowing when to take the risk, and then knowing when to plug out, and then knowing what to buy, when to buy, how to buy. It's Nisenti Yato and Afre, a stock exchange expert and a business investor. Say Obra na Ombeche yes akwano because Sebio Master Penny be amene asafo no say ade obi aye da no na wo easier because you just have to know what they've done, and then you can ask them. That is the important thing. You ask them how they've done it, and then you don't repeat the mistakes that they did. And on this note, I'll welcome you to this show, and also welcome our guest for today, Mr. Solomon Oppong. Now, on here about the Mr. Oppong said, your screen is dark for some reason.
Oh,
okay. Therefore, he's trying to get back on, and I will invite Mr. Oppong now. What sharing about stock exchange? What goes into it? Some people say it's not the safest. Some argue that it's one of the best. What are the risks involved? When do you plug out? Is that a liquid
yeah.
investment that is a fixed investment? And what is the benefits versus for liquid investment versus unia wabedie yes kakum menka but ye ginon pakro nenu into what hide na wankasa na no yentie fi wo no.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Phil. Thanks for inviting me. Hi, everybody. Me, I'm a real estate agent and an investor, and I also do stock. I just got into the stock sphere because I realized that, most people that do real estate, they also do stock. And stock is one of the areas that you can also, help, create generational wealth. And so that's how I started. I actually started, 2016. Now my wife had just given birth, and I was looking at something that to add extra income to our income. And so that's kind of how I started. And, it just took it from there. I remember my first I made my first money I made. It was $1,000, and I was over the moon. And just kind of learning the basics. What is PE ratio? What is the stock market? How does it work? Just the basis. But it really, in a nutshell, stock is one of those things that is results oriented, right? So let me explain. When you go to work, in most cases, they pay you based on hour rate, right? So you're giving an hour rate. Let's say the person says, okay, I'm going to pay you $30 or even $100, right? At some point, there's so much you can go, right? There's going to be a ceiling.
Yeah.
In the stock market and real estate, there's no ceiling. So that's why I like it. And I'm not saying you should go quit your job or anything, but it's just basically results oriented. The more you do or the more you learn and the better you become, the more money you can make. So that's
and talking about not quitting your job. I was discussing this with a lady in New York. about side hustle. Be positive if you want to start us. And I say, hey, Charlotte Philip, you are doing well, or you always posting something new. And some of it I have to say, hey, I never brother CD, I never promoted though. But I also have side for real. And
right.
Me, dear, I love a side hustle since childhood.
Yes.
When I work class 6, now me cooperative press because it was my dad, so it was a child labor for
Right.
the among us, you know, right? You know, man, I've always loved side hustle. Talking about when you made your first $1,000, I started
Yeah.
talk, and we're going to get into the details very soon. But we want to give you
Right.
the preambles to some of these things. My first experience with stock, that was in Ghana. Somebody introduced me to a broker, and then we went. Sometime, you know, I had done some business with the press, you know, and then
Right.
for 500 Ghana cedis. That was about 2003. So I was like, okay, let me go invest it in the stock market. So we went about 3 different stocks, right? Commercial
Yeah.
Bank, Cocoa Board, and then a new one that had come on the market. And then in about 6 months, I made 1,600 Ghana cedis.
That's very good.
Oh, Charlie, don't know si kada hit. So what I did was I cashed out
Yeah.
the 1,600 and then bought 3 other shares, and then the 100 Ghana.
Yeah.
At that time, it was worth more than what it is now. Immediately,
Right.
the pattern me cry. So take us into the details. So when we talk about stock markets, what goes into it?
So basically, think of the stock market as, where the whole of the US and the world store the money, right?
Mm.
That's where all the money is. And basically, the US government is saying that, okay, hey, we want everybody to enjoy, but we are not going to teach you how to do that. We are not going to teach you in school. We are not going to do any of that. So you're going to have to figure it out yourself. So basically, that's why you have somebody who has done accounting, has PhD from even Cornell or any of these Ivy League schools, and they don't know how to trade stock. So if you want to get started, how do you get started? Right?
Right.
Like you said, one of the my favorite guys too is Warren Buffett, by the way. You know,
Okay.
yep. He has a quote and he says, when everybody is happy buying, that's the time to run. And when everybody is scared now buying, that is a time to basically buy. So that's in a nutshell, that's how you trade stock. Basically, when the stock market drops, right? Everybody's going crazy. Oh, the stock market has dropped. That is a time to buy. And really, the way you can go about it in a nutshell is basically find companies that you patronize their business or you enjoy their services, and then just buy some of their stock. And basically, when you buy a stock, what you're doing is you're owning a piece of the company. You're owning a piece of a company. And right now, with the with the evolution of technology, you don't have to know people like Jeff Bezos. You don't have to know people like that. You don't have to know any of these company managers and say, hey, I want to buy a company. They will probably be like, hey, forget you, man, I don't know you. But you can go online. There are apps there like Robinhood, TD Ameritrade. All you have to do is just put in your social, register like you're creating a bank account, and then boom, you can buy a stock from there. So that's kind of how I got started,
Okay.
and just yeah.
All right. So, viewers, if you're on, please say hi, say something so that we can recognize and appreciate you for you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this evening. And we want to say that we thank you very much for joining us. So, please say something, join the conversation so that you could be recognized and we can progress as such. If you have any question at any point in time, please throw it out there so that we can know what your thoughts are and then we can answer accordingly. So now, talking about registering on Ameritrade or any of those apps,
Right.
if for me, I don't understand how the stock market works, right?
Exactly.
Nitty-gritties of it and all of that. So rather just give it to someone and then they invest for me. In that case, do I have to let them know the kind of markets I'm interested in or the kind of risk I want to take? Then they can work it out.
So yeah, that's a great question. So
Mm,
there are two ways you can go about it. You can find a professional that all they do is they trade in the stock market. You can find a
mm,
financial planner, and what they do is they charge you a percentage of whatever money you give them. It can be like 1%, 2%. And the other option is you can learn, anybody can do it. You can learn the basis of the stock market, and you can do that through YouTube, or you can get a mentor. I think the easiest way would be to get a mentor and just kind of learn, and that's what I did. I think that is really much easier for you to learn,
mhm,
invest the money to learn, compared to how much you're going to pay somebody like a financial planner or the so-called expert. They did a research and they found out that 80% of the fund managers, they don't even beat the market. So to beat the market, which is the S&P 500, it's about, that means you have to make about a return of 8 to 12%. 8 to 12%. So let's say you put $1,000 in the market,
mhm.
right? And for them to beat the market, they have to make extra 8 to 12%. And they are saying 80% of these people are not beating the market. So would you trust them with your money?
No,
So,
no.
yes. I mean, that means you got to go find a 20% that are beating the market. And I wasn't willing to do that. So I just took the chance on my own, you know. So like at work, when I was working full time, I had a 401k. They
Mhm.
gave you the option that, that your 401k,
You
most
can trade
companies,
it yourself.
they will give you the option that, hey, you can self-direct it yourself,
Mhm,
or they can kind of manage it for you. And if
mhm.
they manage it for you, they charge you money. It's not
Right,
free.
right.
Yeah, they charge you money. They charge you. I've seen people who are paid overall maybe $25,000,
Oh
and I'm
wow.
looking at their account and I'm like, wow, how much have you made? They don't know. They have no clue. So I think that as immigrants, as Black people in America and all over the world, these are skills that we can add to the skills we already have, and it wouldn't hurt. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, before we even move on, let me ask you the same question I asked about the real estate. If someone wants
Exactly.
to enter into the stock market and its trading and all of that, is that
Yeah,
something you'd be willing to also mentor people in?
exactly. Exactly. I actually have, you know, I probably have maybe mentored about 5 people. You know,
Okay, okay.
um, so that's something that I'll be willing to help. If they want to learn. I mean,
All right.
um,
Then, viewers, we're going to put up his email address at some point during the program. So stay with us so that you get to see his email address and then you can contact him. So then the next question is okay, for me, there are some people that
yeah,
they have a glass ceiling as to what they want to get themselves involved in. So I don't
right,
hands dirty in trading stocks and all of that. Is
yeah.
that also something that can be given to you? Hey, I want to trade 5,000 or $2,000 in stocks. Here you go, Solomon. Invest it for me, and then I'll
Yeah.
just how my money is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me that question, but
Hmm.
I really haven't, I haven't done one before for anybody. But I mean,
Okay.
if I think that I'm close to the person, we are friends,
Mm.
yeah, maybe, but I haven't really, I mean, I trade on a daily basis, in
Oh,
between my real estate and Monday through Friday, and then on the weekend, of course. Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. Trading is something that it takes work. Like, if you want to be a true trader and make money, you have to, not only do you have to learn the fundamentals, but you have to wake up early when everybody is sleeping, so that you're able to watch the market. And it's
Especially
like,
when you're on the West Coast.
yeah, it's like playing a poker game. People who wake up early, and if they are playing a poker game with you, they know where you're going to, your next move is going to be next, right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like the stock market. You have to be able to get in that mindset. But when you start, it's raw because it's a whole different language. That's why a lot of people don't like it. But I love
Oh,
it, Yeah.
okay. All right. So
Yeah.
you don't do that, but then you'll be willing to mentor people. So
Yeah.
viewers,
Yeah.
let's be in charge of our wealth also. So if you want to
Exactly.
do it,
Exactly.
he's able to help you to do it.
Yeah.
Richmond Wusu, Chinese burger, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. So now, in terms of the stock market, what to
Yeah.
buy, what not to buy, I think that remains a very important question.
Yeah. So that's a very great question.
Mm,
The easiest way I tell people to start learning and and what to buy is look at a product that you use every day, right? Right now, with everything going on, everything is online. So whom do you think is making the money?
the online
Amazon,
store? Okay,
right? Amazon.
okay.
So yes, I will own Amazon. Uh when you're typing every day, you're using Microsoft.
Mm,
Microsoft. So those are like little clues that you learn as you start trading. So I always tell people, companies that you love, you use their product on a daily basis. Yeah, I'll
mhm.
patronize them.
Okay.
Companies that are so like, I've never heard of them, they are overhyped, I just run away from them. You know?
But so, I've heard this time and over again. It's
Yeah,
all about risk. It's all about risk, right?
yeah,
So, if I'm buying Amazon, it means my risk level is low, correct?
yes,
Because it's
yes.
a well-established company. And
Well, yep,
what it ties to risk is the higher your risk, the higher the potential of your returns.
yeah,
Potential, right?
yeah.
So if I'm going with established companies, in which case their stock value will be high.
It will be high. Yes, that's true.
Okay.
So,
So those are some of
yeah,
the things I want viewers to understand.
right.
Going
So, I
new
mean,
versus going with existing companies.
yeah. So you're right, Dr. Phil. I mean, you
Mm,
buying companies that are established. Yeah, there's a potential that you're not going to lose your money, but you're not going
mhm,
to make a killing because the
mhm.
stock is so high. But the
Right.
other side of, the on the other side, let's say you go buy a company that you've never heard of. You
Mhm,
know, there's something called pump and dump, right? Pump
mhm,
and dump is like basically in the stock market is like where some companies, they come out and they just keep advertising maybe one stock, some kind of stock, and everybody is praising that stock, right?
mhm,
And it's
mhm.
just going to keep going up, it's going to go up.
And
And
then
in the end, when people start investing, it just drops.
takes a dive.
And nobody, yeah, people will not, the people who lose are the ones who don't know. So those ones, you can just lose your money. So, I mean, when you're starting out, I would just say that, just go with a safe route and just kind of learn. And eventually you're going to pick up on things. It's just like anything. When you start, you don't know a whole lot. And then as time goes on, you learn, you know. But the,
Okay.
the best way to, learn about the stock market is to do it. Just do it. Get in there, get your feet wet, you know. You might end up losing some money. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right.
You know, but you do one or two, you ask the right question, you get a right answer. You know. Yeah.
Then the
So
next question comes to, when you talked about buy what you use, I was laughing a little bit because
yeah.
I have a friend who trades in the stock market. As I said earlier, personally, I like the
Right.
stock, but it's not something that I know too much about to trade myself.
Yeah.
So he was talking about a new company that had come on the stock market, and it was a company that dealt with marijuana. They're moving towards medical marijuana and all of that. But
Oh
from what
yeah.
we're not using marijuana, so do we need marijuana stocks or not?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what is the direction of some of these pharmaceutical companies? Now we're talking about coronavirus is here. We're looking for a vaccine, right? So if there's
yeah.
a pharmaceutical company that comes out with a vaccine, would it be advisable for me to rush into it and buy it first?
Yeah. I mean, it
Right.
so the stock market basically runs on news, right? When
Mm,
there's a good news, the price of that particular stock will go up. When
mhm,
there's bad news, the price of that stock will go down.
mm,
So basically, like now we are in coronavirus, people are dying. So if a
mhm.
company comes out and say, "Hey, we have a vaccine," that stock price is going to go up, so high.
Astronomical. Right.
Exactly. So if you can get in and get out quickly, you make money, you know.
Right.
But then you also have to do your research. Research is you're looking at something like fundamentals. You call it fundamentals. This company,
Mm,
do they have enough money in the bank that in case, something happened, they will be able to survive for maybe a year? You know, how is their stock price compared to, companies in the same group? Is it so overpriced? If it's overpriced, eventually, because the stock market, the stock price, right? It's like a pendulum. I mean, you're a science student. A
mhm.
pendulum, the way it works.
Thanks.
So when it just goes up and then it
Mhm.
comes down. It goes up and it
Okay.
comes down. So basically, so the stock price, let's say a stock is like $100, and all of a sudden it goes all the way to 200. The
Mm,
moment it hit that 200, we call it maybe 52-year high. It's so
mm.
high, it's gonna drop a little. It's gonna drop, and then it will
Okay.
go up and then it will drop. So that's kind of how it was. So yeah, you can
Oh,
make a lot of money, on good favorable news if you get in early. So
okay.
I mean, I wouldn't discourage you.
All
Yeah,
right.
but fundamentals is very key.
Okay. NZ Guy, thank you very much for joining. And then also see brother Cavendish Akumiabosu. He said, "Hi, brother. Good work, sir. Thanks for the teachings." And you're very welcome, Cavendish. Thank you also for joining us. If you do have a question, please bring it in so that we can have it answered before we run out of time. So now my next question is about day trading. When we talk about day trading, what does that mean?
So day trading is basically, so when you're trading stock, there are so many ways you can go about it.
Mhm.
Uh, you can do what we call long-term trading. Most of those people call them value traders. So they buy
Okay.
the stock, they buy a good stock and just leave it there and let it grow because
Mhm.
they want to take advantage of what we call compound interest.
Interest.
Compound
Okay.
interest is where your money is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. And
Mhm.
then you have what we call swing traders,
Mhm.
swing traders. They just come in, maybe they stay in there 1 day, 2 days, or a couple of days. When their money goes up, they take their money and they run. And then there's what we call day traders. Basically, a day. They get in the day, they are looking at the stock. If within, let's say, 5 seconds it goes up, they take their profit and they run. So that's why we call them day
Oh,
traders.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So those people,
Yeah.
you have to commit more time to it.
Yeah. So a lot of people do it as a day job. That's their
Okay.
whole job, you know.
Okay.
But I started out, as value trader. I did some swing trading and then, some day trading. So I kind of do, all three.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other thing is you talked about timing. I remember when the Mexican food restaurant, I forgot their name, Chipotle.
Yeah. Chipotle. Yeah. Yeah.
Chipotle had an issue with infection, right? I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
also
Right.
their stock value went so low, and that is why
Low.
people went into it because, of course, Chipotle is going to bounce back, and then they
Yep.
bounced back, and then for those who traded at that time, made a killing out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we know coronavirus is here right now, so with coronavirus being here, there's going to be a lot of businesses that will have a lower stock value at this point. Do you
Yep.
chance, or can you tell us some of these businesses that will be advisable to buy at this point, knowing very well that they'll bounce back up?
Well, right now, like, the business that are suffering right now, restaurant, excuse me, restaurant is suffering right now, but I will not just buy any restaurant. So what you're going to look at is restaurants that have so much money, excess money, right?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, if people are not coming to eat in your restaurant and you don't have money to pay your bills, you're
You're going
going
to
to
fall
go
down.
out of business, right?
Right,
So
right,
you want to look at restaurants that have very good, you know, money in the bank that they don't have to, that they are not going to fall out. And then another one is the airline industry. They are also heading so
mm,
bad.
mm,
You know, yeah, they are
right,
also heading so bad. So you want to look at, quality airlines.
right,
Quality
right.
airlines. That are run well by good CEOs. And then of course you can go wrong. I mean, technology, you know, I like technology stuff because they grow so fast. They are
Right.
so, yeah, it's easy to scale, you know, and I mean oil industry too is so low, but with with the emergence of electric cars,
Mm-hmm.
nobody knows what is how the things are going to turn out. you
Right, right.
know
Yeah.
so those are some of the areas you can look at, but always do your research. Always do your research.
So now,
Yeah.
before we get into the research part, I want to say that if you want to get into the airline industry, look at some
Yeah.
of these airlines that will be backed by at least the countries, right?
Yeah.
If they have the support of the country, if it's the backbone of the country's transportation, then you know that the country is not going to watch for it to fold out unless it's Ghana Airways. But sorry. So you got to do the research as you said. So talking
I
about
mean, yeah, like something like Boeing.
right, you know, talking about
Yeah.
research. Um, Now, where do I find the information about their financial standing?
Yeah. So basically, if you can go on Google or
Mhm.
Yahoo Finance, right? When you
Okay.
type in, so when you go online and you type in the company, let's
Mhm.
say Boeing, right? You type
Mhm.
in Boeing, and you're going to use what we call ticker symbol. Ticker symbol is like basically a nickname they give to the company, right? So Amazon, its nickname or what we call ticker symbol is AMZ.
Mhm.
When you type it in, everything is there, man. It's right there. You just have to know how to read it. It's going to tell you how much revenue they made. It's
Mhm.
going to tell you, year over year revenue. Is their revenue going up every year or is it decreasing? And it's also going to tell you a key information, like, in terms of, year over year, have they been beating the street? When they say that, so we have what we call analysts, right? So analysts every year they kind of give the company guidelines that, okay, hey, last year maybe you made 1.2% of this. Next year we expect that you're going to make 1.3. So every investor who invests in the stock market and expect that these companies are able to beat what the analysts are saying, or if they can't beat it, they should be able to match, right?
Right.
I know this is boring information, but
No. I know. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning quite a few. So yeah. So I
yeah,
go into Google, look at the ticker symbol, put that in,
yep,
and then see how they are doing financially, they are sustainable,
financially, yeah.
and all of that. Yeah. That is
So
good information.
exactly. So you look at all that, and it shows BBB, and you see that their revenue is increasing. It kind of tells you a little bit more that, okay, hey, this company is not struggling for oxygen, right? If the company, you have a company that revenue is just keep going down year over year over year, you
You don't
know
want to
that
do
the next
that.
thing is going to happen is, that oxygen is going to run out and
Right.
they'll be out of business. So you got to be careful. I mean, you can still buy, but you gotta keep your eye on them like a hawk. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, keep your
All right.
eye on them
Nanabuke,
like a hawk.
welcome to the program. And Frederick Boatin, welcome. Thanks for joining in. Actually, joining in at the tail end of the conversation. Viewers, our time is almost up. Hence, I will have Mr. Oppong to tell us a few things that you need to touch on before we draw the curtains.
Yeah, that's I just want to encourage everybody that stock market is something that we should learn about. We shouldn't just sit on the sideline and say, hey, let the expert do it. I know that we cannot do everything, but at least the stock market, real estate, you don't have to go be a realtor, but at least you can be an investor. You don't have to be, a stock broker, but you can learn to trade on your own and teach your case. These are very key. For Black people, if we have to be respected around the world to reclaim our standing in the world, we have to learn these skills. We have to we have to learn to take life in our own hands, and also know that God has given us all we need to be successful in this world.
Right. Okay. I would like for your email address to come up so that if someone wants to contact you about either real estate or stocks, they can contact you. So, viewers, that is the email address. Please do reach out to him. If you have any question about real estate or stock market, he can help you and is more than willing to help you in these. While they copy the email address or take a screenshot of it, let me ask this. What is IPO? That would be my final question.
So
IPO.
IPO is just a fancy term for companies that are coming on the market for the first time.
Okay.
So you own your company, and then you say, hey, I'm taking it to the market, to the stock market, where it will be listed. That way everybody can buy a piece of it. We call it IPO, initial public offering. Yeah. So that's IPO. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, and thank you, viewers, for
Hey, you're
joining.
welcome, Dr. Phil.
We've had fun with you for the last 3 weeks. So we'll give you a break. We got to be respectful of your time. So we'll give you a break, but we'll come back to you at some point so that we can tap more into your knowledge and your expertise. Viewers, thank you very much, wherever you are. Thanks for taking the time to join us. And once again, same time, same place next week. In the meantime,